But going into a match review, Sim, 3-0. But do you think that tell the whole reflection of the game for you?
Probably not. I think Norwich probably had a bit too much encouragement throughout the game. I think actually they were a lot more possession based on the front foot than I expected, even though I know Norwich previously under Farke were very possession based, and that's how they like to play their football. But under Dean Smith, they've been a lot more solid, focusing a lot more on like defending and keeping clean sheets and stuff. So I was a bit surprised when they came to our stadium. And it's not. I'm just wondering whether it was a case of Tottenham allowing them possession, or them coming with a plan to be very possession based and keeping the ball, because they had something like 64% possession or something throughout the game.
66 or something, yeah.
Yeah, so like some like very high, and like you know before the game, if I would have told you Norwich had that much possession, you'd probably be like, really, like very surprised. But I think it was kind of allowing them possession while keeping them at arm's length. I think there was a few moments early on. Pukki had that chance that he should have scored very early on. And that was kind of like a warning sign. Like, we can't allow them too much encouragement in possession, even though we're kind of, I don't know whether there was a plan or not. But I felt like many times they would have long spells of possession, then we would catch them on a transition, we would sneak the ball, and then we'll spring into attack. And I felt like we were much more dangerous once we were doing that, and we were opening them up a few times, even first half and second half. We would open them up a few times, and I think by and large we were definitely more dangerous. We definitely probably played the better overall, and we deserved the victory. But I think Norwich definitely be disappointed they didn't at least get one goal, because they did miss some gilt-edged chances.
Yeah, they did. They had some really good chances. The one from Ida in the second half, the one from Pukki early on, and there were a couple more as well where they really should have done better.
Sargent, he hit his own leg, didn't he?
Yeah, that one as well. So, I mean, there were chances for Norwich to hurt us. I mean, they did, in terms of them hurting us, they hurt us in terms of getting close to our goal and getting chances, and they just lacked that bit of quality to really finish it off. So, on another day with another team, you know, you may be talking about a much more dangerous game, to be honest.
Definitely. We have to. There are so many ways we can improve for sure. Out of possession, we have to be a lot more intense when winning the ball back. We can't allow Norwich to build up a head of steam into our half and get them so close to goal that they're nearly scoring. I think 3 chances like the ones they have is too many for a game like this, and we got lucky in the sense that they didn't punish us. But on the flip side, there was no luck about us, except for maybe the set piece. There was no luck about the goals we scored. I think we deserved the goals we scored, and by and at the end of the day, for all the possession Norwich had, we had more shots, we had more chances, we had a higher XG. Like, I think we definitely deserve the victory. So I don't think Norwich can complain about the result, but they definitely will maybe feel hard done by that they weren't able to convert any of the openings that they created. And I think Conte will have to look at that and to see why they created so many.
Yeah, but you're completely right in saying that, you know, we were the team that looked more dangerous. We were the team that, if you know, that we deserved to win the game. I think we deserved to win the game, and I think we played well yesterday, and definitely in parts of the game. When you look at how the game flowed, I mean, when the game kicked off, Norwich were on top, weren't they, for the first 10-15 minutes, and they looked like they had some sort of game plan and they're going to come and hurt us. So they had that chance right early on with Teemu Pukki. Yes, also we had a few chances early on as well, but I think that it went in flows this game, because in the first 10-15 minutes they were on top, then we took control, and then they maybe slightly took back control in the end of the first half, and then the beginning of the second. I mean, it kept flowing between Spurs and Norwich, who actually had control of the game. But I think for the most part of the game, Spurs were the ones pretty much in control of the game.
Yeah, and I think it's important, even when you're out of possession and the opposition having a good spell, that you remain compact, you remain solid. And I think although they had those couple of chances, I think by and large they struggled to create against us, despite those few chances. You know, they had 3 chances throughout the game, dotted throughout. But I think by and large they were struggling to really get into positions where they could hurt us. And I think Conte's mid block was pretty effective overall. And I think when we did win the ball back, we were winning it back in positions where it would catch them off guard and actually leave them exposed. And that was, I think, the plan yesterday. It must have been deliberate to allow them that much possession. I can't imagine that we would allow them all that possession as not part of a plan. But to go counter-attacking at home to Norwich wouldn't have pleased many fans pre-kickoff, but I think the plan worked.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And when you're talking about individual displays yesterday, Ollie Skipp, man, I mean, what a performance he put in yesterday. I mean, he is growing game by game. Such a mature performance for someone of 21 years old. The countless amounts of interceptions, countless amounts of tackles, and the way he once he won these interceptions, once he won his tackles, the way he sprung on the Norwich defence, the way he started attacks, the way he drove forward, the passing range that he was showing yesterday as well. I mean, he was brilliant yesterday, wasn't he?
He was exceptional, absolutely exceptional. In the first half, I believe he got 100% passing accuracy, 100% duels won. He was really an absolute he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant in the centre of the park. And it wasn't just, it was both facets of his game, which is improving, which is really, really encouraging. I think his composure on the ball when he's being pressed, and his ability to step into spaces where step away from people pressing him and not allow players to get too near to the ball, too near to him was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and I thought yesterday it was another performance proving that Ollie Skipp is a real star for the future, and he's really, at such a young age to put in performances like that is super, super impressive. And I think he's going from strength to strength, and the way he likes to train and how hard he works. It's only a matter of time before he becomes the full package.
Yeah, and looking at these stats from Squawka last night, 100% duels won, 100% final third pass accuracy, 49 passes attempt, 47 succeeded, 2 interceptions, 2 clearances and 2 shots. I mean, that just all action display, isn't it, from Ollie Skipp?
And even having shots as well. And I think they both came in the first half, I remember.
Yeah, there was that one where he charged forward in the opening minutes.
Yeah.
In the first 10 minutes, which really set the tone for his display, really. I just thought he was sensational. And the guy next to him, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, I thought he really had a much improved performance as well.
Yeah, I think he played pretty well. I think they had a pretty good partnership together.
And it's growing, that partnership.
Yeah, and he was also, when you look at Skipp, he was involved in the third goal as well, playing it off to Ben Davies into space, and he laid it off for Son, who scored. He's starting to get involved in the attacks as well, as much as the build-up play from central midfield. So I think everyone's getting very excited about Ollie Skipp at the moment, and rightly so. It puts a mockery of the fact that early in the season Nuno dropped him for the Arsenal and Chelsea games.
Yeah.
Early in the season, we said at the time, how can you do that? And now, the performances he's putting in, he's making it pretty much impossible to leave him out at the moment. He's becoming a bit of an all-round midfielder as well now, which is brilliant. He needs to really refine his game in that sense, but he's a midfielder who you can't leave out, and he's a midfielder as well. You feel like alongside Højbjerg, Conte's allowing him a bit more license to go forward, and I also feel like he would be able to be the midfielder who could be alongside a more offensive midfielder as well, and have the discipline to maybe sit and not be the one going forward, allowing another midfielder to go forward, and that is allows a bit more versatility as well.
Gives us a lot of options, or more options at least. And another player I want to talk about who I think really struggled yesterday, in Japhet Tanganga, played right wing back. I mean, when we all saw the lineup, we were like, not too sure, because we're not too sure about at Tanganga at right wing back, and that showed yesterday. I mean, in the first half, he kind of got away with it. Second half, I mean, he got given a torrid time, didn't he?
By Brandon Williams.
I mean, he was beating him time and time again, and then eventually having to be taken off. And, the guy who came on, Matt Doherty, which we thought was quite telling that he wasn't in the starting lineup, quite telling that he didn't come on in the last game when we took off Emerson as well. So he came on and actually had a good display, but Japhet Tanganga really struggled yesterday.
Yeah, and I just don't think that's the position. I mean, to be honest, he more struggled defensively than offensively in many aspects, actually, Jaffet Tanganga. But I just don't think that position really suits him. And I think when you're getting dominated by Brandon Williams, something's wrong. You know what I mean? And Brandon Williams isn't a bad player, but he's not a player that should be dominating you like Tanganga got dominated yesterday, and it really could have cost us if it wasn't for other players making up for him. And Conte definitely made the right call yesterday, making I think just cutting your losses and steadying the ship. And once Doxy came on, pretty much all that threat stopped, which was the most crucial thing. But Tanganga, for last few performances, he's had to be taken off early. It's not the first time. Against Leeds as well, he got taken off early as well. So, and again, if I remember rightly, when we played Arsenal at the Emirates, he got taken off at half time. If I remember, I think he got did he get taken off at half time? Yeah, I think he did, didn't he? I think Emerson came on at half time, if I remember rightly.
Well, Skipp came on at half time, I remember.
Yeah, I think Emerson
as well?
I'm pretty sure Emerson came on at half time
you're right.
as well.
He went off at half time.
So it's this the third time already he's been able to hold off after he had a great start to the season at home to City.
Against Leeds he went off with 20 minutes to go. Against Norwich he went off with half an hour to go, and then against Arsenal he went off half time.
Yeah, but I felt like against Leeds it was also because he was struggling a bit. That's what the feeling I got. That's why he was taken off.
Yeah, when Sanchez came on for him and shored things up.
So it's not so it's now that we're talking about now 3 times this season he's had to be taken off early because he's struggling. If you cast your mind back to the first game of the season where you were playing Man City and he's having an absolute stormer, and we're thinking, all right, we've got our right back sorted for the season. Honestly, that's what a lot of people were thinking. He's going to be our starting right back this season, but unfortunately, I just don't think he's able to keep up that standard. And I think as well, he didn't have to have as much responsibility maybe on the ball than he has done since then. Against City, which is why maybe he looks a little bit more comfortable. But I don't know. It's just gone. I don't know what it is at the moment, but he's just gone a bit wrong recently for Tanganga. I feel like whenever he's got an opportunity recently, he hasn't really taken it. His performances have dipped quite a bit.
What I feel with Jaff is I think he needs a long, extended run of football, and maybe they were talking about him going on loan in the summer, but that Man City game kind of put a stop to all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe for his career and for the benefit of us in the long term, maybe the loan move would have been best.
I just think we got to stop playing him a right back.
But even at centre back, that Leeds game, he was at centre back.
Yeah, but he was better in that Leeds game than he was yesterday, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, at Arsenal he was at right back, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And I know against Man City he was a right back, but I feel like right centre back will definitely suit him a lot more if he gets used to that role than right wing back. I just don't think he has the capabilities of playing that role. I think on the ball he doesn't have the quality on the ball or composed enough to really provide a kind of any quality when we're building up ahead of steam in possession. Out of possession, he should theoretically be good, but I felt like he was kind of not sure where to be on the pitch when he was at right wing back, and I think he got caught out of position a few times, which he did. And I just don't think it suits him. I've always thought he's he's one of those players who can do a job as a right back, but he's not a natural right back, and I wouldn't want him to be there long term. And I don't think if he's going to really be a Tottenham player for the long, into the future, I don't think it's going to be a right back.
Completely agree. It's going to be in that centre back role, definitely in that right centre back role, but I think for someone of that age, I think he needs that run of games just to build up his confidence a bit. That's what I just feel, and I think that may be a loan move because I don't think he's going to get that here. He's not going to get that long run of games here, in my opinion. I think he needs maybe a loan, but who knows? But a few other.
I think theoretically he could be even more suited to that right centre back role than Sanchez. As much as Sanchez did well yesterday, and he's done okay, but I think if you look at skill sets and stuff, I think theoretically Tanganga could be more suited to that role. Because I think he's a tiny bit better on the ball than Sanchez is and stuff. And he's a bit more comfortable going forward than Sanchez is. So technically he could, but he's just got to make sure that when he gets his chance, he's not as much of a liability as he is yesterday and beforehand.
Yeah, but when you're looking at, both players on the space of the whole season so far, I know Sanchez has just had 2 poor games in Moura and against Brentford where he looked a bit nervy. But I think when you look at the whole season as a whole, I think Sanchez is just performing at a higher level than Tanganga, isn't
I don't
he?
disagree. I think Sanchez is generally a better player than Tanganga. I'm just saying if you're looking at skill sets, if you're just looking at the profile of players, I think Tanganga theoretically should be more suited to that right centre-back role than Sanchez, how Conte wants to play.
Yeah. All right. A few other players that I want to get through. Let's talk about Kane and Son and Lucas, to be fair. Let's start off with the good. Let's start off with Sonny, because first few games under Conte didn't really get to grips with it. Was like learning the new role and whatever. But last 2 games he's really looked dangerous. Really looked back to his old self. Really looked energetic, direct, getting on the score sheet, getting assists as well. And it looks as though Sonny maybe not back to his best, but definitely on the way there.
Yeah, and he's looking sharp again. And the goal he took it really well, I felt. That was like very sharp movements inside the penalty area and firing it home, and I was very happy with that. I thought in transitions as well, I thought he was pretty electric. He was linking up well with the front three. There was that moment where Kane was a bit unhappy with him, wasn't he, in the first half, where he took a shot where Kane thought he should have passed it to him, and it kind of just hit Kane and went wide. But I think his performances are definitely improving. Obviously, we were playing against the likes of Brentford and Norwich, so it's going to be more difficult against other games. But I think he's definitely learning his new role a lot better, and he's finding different spaces. Before, I think he was being crowded out a bit, and he just wasn't able to impact the game. But now he's definitely getting more involved. He's definitely becoming a lot more of a threat in the final third, and I think the front three are working quite well together in terms of Son and Lucas being the speed and Kane kind of providing the ammo.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm really liking the way Sonny's looking at the moment. Lucas Moura as well, I thought played really well, very dangerous, especially in that first half. That goal was just insane, wasn't it?
Yeah,
got to be goal contender for goal of the month this month. I mean,
it wasn't just the
whole move was just insane. Starting from Lucas beating a few men, one quick 1-2 with Sonny, and then the way he shaped around that other defender, got it past him, and then fired it right into the top bins. I mean, what a goal!
Yeah, completely instinctual as well. Like, it was just a brilliant piece of play from Lucas Moura, and those moments he's more than capable of providing those moments. We all know that, and I actually think it wasn't just his goal. I thought in general there were a few times where he was, especially in the first half. I think he quietened down in the second half a bit. In the first half, I thought he was pretty much everywhere. I thought he was really brilliant. He was providing through balls. He was on the counter attack. He was winning fouls, getting yellow cards for the opposition. I thought he was a really strong performance from Lucas in the first half, and he's making it hard to drop. Everyone thought we were gonna. It was Ali Gold was reporting Spurs are gonna move to a 5-3-2 and all this kind of stuff. But I think Lucas at the moment is making it impossible to drop him. It's very, very difficult, and I think he's playing extremely well.
Yeah, and he needs to be impacting in his output like. That showed just yesterday how much he needs to be improving in his output. He puts on game on game on game on. We said in the watch along yesterday, someone with his ability should be providing at least 15 goals and assists every season.
Definitely.
And he doesn't do that. And, yesterday's quality, that goal yesterday just proved everyone that he can do it. He can do it. And he's got such quality about him. And he just doesn't show it enough. Nowhere near enough.
It's interesting. I was watching his interview yesterday on Match of the Day, and he was like saying how I'm not a killer like Son and Kane. I don't score loads of goals, but when I do score, I score nice goals. That's what he was saying. So he's one of those players. He sees himself as a scorer of great goals, not a great goal scorer. Yeah, one of those players. Which they used to be a number of them back in the day. But for sure, I think. I don't know why. Maybe I don't why he doesn't have confidence in himself that he can be that player like that regularly scores goals and gets assists and stuff. Because the guy's got bags of ability, bags of quality. It's stacked to the brim. Like, he really is a quality player, and it's all about just getting. I don't know whether it's about unlocking him on like where he is on the pitch positional wise, or his just in his mind, like when to take the shot and decision making, all this kind of stuff. But at 29, you know, it's difficult to coach that into a player if he hasn't got that already. But I just think I think he's always going to be an enigma in that way, Lucas Moura, unfortunately. But I just think you got to appreciate what he can do, and what he can do is provide a lot of quality on the pitch. But it's just he's always going to leave you wanting more, unfortunately, throughout a season.
I think he's always replaceable.
In specific games, there are some games like yesterday and other games you were thinking, oh, this guy is world class. Like you just think like he's unstoppable. And then there are games where he's completely anonymous and he doesn't get involved at all.
Leaves you so frustrated.
And he gives away the ball every time he gets it, and you're thinking like, how is this guy in the team? Like all this stuff. These are conflicting opinions. But throughout a season, I think he'll always provide moments of quality, but he'll always leave you thinking...
wanting more.
Yeah, he'll always leave you thinking this guy should be getting a lot more goals. Like, for example, last season he scored 4 Premier League goals. That is, for a player of Lucas's ability, it's unacceptable. How can he score 4 Premier League goals throughout a whole season? That was his first goal since February. We're in December, so that's 10 months.
Yeah.
He hasn't scored a Premier League goal for 10 months. That is ridiculous. I know he provides other things on the pitch for sure. I know he does, and that's great. All his other skills, which is fantastic, and that's why he's always valuable having in the team, even when he's not scoring. But he definitely should be. It's not even just on the score sheet. He should be taking shots more. There's some games where he doesn't even shoot. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that is not enough for someone like Lucas.
Definitely. And that's why he's always going to be replaceable, in my opinion, because you can get players in there that will put so much more output than he does throughout a season. And if he produced week in, week out like we know he could, he'd be one of the best players in the Premier League.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's probably why we have him, to be honest.
Literally, the quality that he has, he could be one of the best players in the Premier League. But I do feel that he's much more suited to this kind of more central role than when we stick him out wide.
Yeah, he seems a lot more at home when he's not asked to provide width. So he's not like... obviously, like maybe how he was playing last season when he was in the number 10. He's obviously a bit more to the right, but this inverted central role as a number 10 kind of thing, like as Conte said, 2 number 10s. I definitely think it suits him more because he's got a lot more passing options in between the lines, which is he's a lot more comfortable. He doesn't have to put crosses in or anything. And he's able to get shots off in central areas, which I think he's a lot more comfortable with.
Definitely. A few more players before we get into the call-ins. Ben Davies, man.
Yeah.
The man, the myth,
brilliant.
the legend, the man at the moment, man. Ben Davies is just performing out of his skin. Is this his best run, since Conte's come in? Is this his best run in a Spurs shirt?
I wouldn't go that far just yet because I think he has had, I remember, for example, when... people forget in our best ever season, in our last season at White Hart Lane, Rose was out for half that season. Yeah. Davies played actually, I think, more than Rose that season.
Yeah, he did.
And people forget that. Davies was really crucial. So I wouldn't say right now is his best spell on a Spurs shirt, but it's probably his best spell on a Spurs shirt for a good 2-3 years. I would say that. Even
that season, yeah, he was good at left back, but I still think that the levels of the performances right now are above that. I genuinely believe
playing
the
very
levels,
well.
I mean, that the sheer quality he's bringing to the team, this is probably the most we've ever seen him in the opposition half ever. It's absolutely mental what we're seeing with Ben Davies at the moment. And this is a player where majority of the Spurs fans would have been happy to see the back of him in the summer.
100%, me included. I think the way he was going, I didn't see a future for him at Tottenham, to be honest. But I think that if he was to handpick a manager to come in and change things for him, he would have probably picked Conte, and it's the perfect manager for him. He knows exactly how to deal with a player like Ben Davies. He knows how to get the best out of him. And I think this is the perfect position for him. It really is. I think he's really showing how he can perform in this position. And it'll be interesting to see how he does when we do come up against better teams, because it's going to be, it's going to be a lot harder to do what he's doing now against those kind of teams. But it's still crucial to do that against the lesser teams as well, because sometimes they get in their shape and they make it difficult to break down. And he's like, it's almost like he's becoming So if you got you've got Son and left wing forward, you like left forward. You got Reguilon at like left wing, and then you've almost got like Ben Davies as like another left winger in a way, in like coming forward and providing that other option when we're on the ball on that side, and it's making it very, very difficult for teams to deal with it when we overload in that area. And case in point, when with that third goal, you had Seston on the left. You have Son there, and then Davies just making an inside run in the channel, and they can't pick him up because they've got too many things to think about. Unless one of the forwards is there tracking back and tracking him all the way back, which is very unlikely, then he's always going to be free because he's a centre back. Why would you pick up a centre back in the final third? You know what I mean? It's very, very difficult tactically to deal with that. And Davies, for all his faults, he's because he's difficult to pick up, he's very likely to be in space. And when you give Davies time and space, like, his quality isn't the best, but it's okay, it's decent. It's decent enough that he can provide an assist or so here and there. And that's all you need when you're a centre back. If you're getting 3 or 4 assists and 2 goals in a season as a centre back, that's good. You know what I mean? So that's exactly all you need to provide. And he's already got 2 assists now. I know one of them was dodgy from a corner, but that's perfect for Ben Davies. And because he's not playing a left back anymore, he can just pick his moments to go forward. He doesn't have to have that pressure on him.
A lot of moments. A lot of moments. He's picking his moments, and he's literally going forward at every single opportunity at the moment. I'm loving it.
I don't think that's true, actually. I don't think he is going forward at every opportunity. I think he's very precisely picking his moments to go forward. Why I say that is because I feel like when he was at left back, he had pressure on him to always be going forward, and that pressure actually led him to becoming a worse player because he doesn't have the speed or fitness, or I don't know. Sammy probably has, but I don't think he has the speed or to be always in the final third and then always back in position when the team break on us. I don't think he has that. But when he is at left centre back, he doesn't have to. He's got Reguilon there, always going to be up forward. So actually, all he has to do is when there is an opportunity to go into the space and be that other option, he's going to be there because he knows he's going to be free every single time. He's not going to be marked by a right back or whatever. He's going to be free. So he can pick his moments, but he doesn't have to go forward every time because a lot of the time, Reguilon's going to be the option. You're going to have a Son there, and you're going to have the forwards anyway, so he can just hang back and just pick his moments. But obviously against Norwich, there are going to be more moments than against other teams to go forward. That's why we saw him a lot.
I feel like he's getting forward more than when he was at left back. When he was at left back, maybe in like a Jose Mourinho team, he would hardly even pass the halfway line.
Yeah, that's my point, because he probably didn't have confidence to go forward and then be back in position. So that led him actually going forward.
Or on instruction.
Either, whatever it was. Maybe it was instruction. I also think that because he can't get back in position because of his lack of natural pace, like, it probably led him in his mind to be like, I actually can't go, even though he has pressure to go forward, he actually can't get forward as much as he would like, because if he does, we could be caught out, and we did get caught out a lot when he did go forward.
Yeah.
So I think this is perfect for him. It really is.
Completely agree.
And also, not just that, defensively as well, because he is a fullback by trade. He is very much comfortable if Reguilon is out of position, he can step in there. He could go to the left back position, and he's very, very comfortable in our wide areas. Very comfortable. Whereas other centre backs, if you put him there and they're forced out wide, they might be a bit uncomfortable defending in that position. But Davies has always been a decent defender, defensively at left back. It's not those aren't where we've been annoyed at him per se. So that's why he's just like, at the moment, he's looking very comfortable and he's looking very effective in that position.
Definitely.
And I'm very happy for him, because when you come under that much criticism for years now, which it's been a few years, when you hit back with these kind of performances, it's a good story, and it's a good redemption arc. But look, it's still very early on. We don't want to go overboard, but at the moment, he's literally providing like 8 out of 10s every week.
Yeah, and it's a point I was going to make, actually, because I've been quite vocal in terms of, everyone's been singing Arsenal's praises in that 10-game unbeaten run, and I said, they haven't played anyone, so it'll be a bit hypocritical of me if I go, Spurs are on the right track now because we've won these last 3 games. These last 3 games we should be winning anyway, let's be honest. Leeds at home, Brentford at home, Norwich at home, and even under Nuno we probably would have won these games, in my opinion. So I think that the real tests are going to come. The real tests are coming. In the next 4 games, I mean, we're going to see maybe more where we're at in terms of the last 3 games, in my opinion. So the next 4 games in terms of Brighton away, albeit they've got a lot of injuries, don't they, Brighton? Brighton away, Leicester away, Liverpool at home, and Palace at home. You've got 4 teams there that, that've shown good stuff. Maybe not Leicester, they've been off form this season. Palace, they're starting to dwindle a bit.
You say that again. I think when was the last time they won a game?
Yeah, I mean, they've only won about 2-3 games this season.
Obviously,
I think
one
Palace.
Spurs.
Yeah. So I mean, look, the Palace game, a team that we've been already too battered this season. Let's be honest. Liverpool is going to be an extremely tough game, as we all know.
I think we should, apart from the Liverpool game, we shouldn't fear any of those teams.
Yeah, we shouldn't fear them, but they're much higher in quality than the teams that we've just faced.
That's true. That's also true. Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot more where we're at in the next 4 games than we have done in the previous 3 games, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So look, I don't think any Spurs fan should be going overboard with the 3 performances or the 3 results that we've just had. But look, it's great to win 3 back-to-back wins, but the opposition have been at the kind of lower end of the Premier League. So let's see where we're at over the next 4 games, is what I'm saying.
Definitely, 100% agree.